Okay, Bismillah. Read this hadith again. وابن مسعود قال قال رسول الله نضر الله عبدا سمع مقالتي فحفظها ووآها وأداها فرب حامل فقه. Find it. That's about 3 or 4 hadiths back.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وعن ابن مسعود رضي الله تعالى عنه قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الله عبدا قال فيه حفظها ووقعها وأداها فرب حامل فقه غير فقيه رب حامل فقه إلى من هو أفقه ثلاث لا يزيد عليهن قلب المسلمين ناس العمل بالله والنصيحة للمسلمين ولزوم جماعتهم فإن دعوتهم تحيط من ورائهم
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmadu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. We're just going back about 3-4. How many hadiths we're going back there? Sheikh Rashid. About 4 hadiths we're going back. We left something out. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. According to my book, is hadith number 28. What hadith number is in your book? Okay, that book is Pushrap says 31. The hadith, this is hadith Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وعن ابن مسعود قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم نضر الله عبدا سمع مقالتي فحفظها ووعاها وأداها فرب حامل فقه غير فقيه ورب حامل فقه إلى من هو أفقه منه. As I said, we're going back about 4 hadith. So something we missed out. Narrating the authority of Ibn Mas'ud, he said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, may Allah Ta'ala keep fresh that servant who hears my statement, then he protects it, he looks after it permanently, وَأَدَّاهَا, and he discharges it like how we heard it. فَرُبَّ حَامِلِ فِقْهٍ غَيْرُ فَقِيهٍ, many a carrier of knowledge, غَيْرُ فَقِيهٍ, does not understand the intricacies, he's not a jurist. Right? وَرُبَّ حَامِلِ فِقْهٍ إِلَى مَنْ وَأَفْقَهْ مِنْهُ, and many a person, he carries something, he conveys it to a person who is more understanding than him. For that part we discussed already. We understood it. I told you that sometimes the muhaddithin, they convey the hadith, like Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala is a classic example. He was not a faqih, he was a muhaddith. Also, when you do, inshallah, when you do more in-depth hadith, as you see normally, when there's a hadith of a faqih and a hadith of a non-faqih, if they contradict each other, you always give preference to the hadith of the faqih. Now, you know, the fuqaha of the Sahaba was Ibn Mas'ud, Ibn Umar, Ibn Abbas, Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Ali, Uthman, etc. Right? So this is the part from here which I left out something which I want to. That's why we're going back. ثلاث لا يغل عليهن قلب مسلم. I told you there's 2 ways you can read this. One is غل يغل. So the one is this here. 3 types of people, right? All right, 3 qualities. 3 qualities. ثلاث لا يغل عليهن قلب مسلمين. The heart of a Muslim. So this is where the difference of the meaning comes in. That if you have the 3 qualities, غل يغل means to have hasad, right? So these 3 qualities, if you have them, then a heart of a Muslim will not have hasad. You will not be envious of other people. And what is this? Ikhlasul amalillahi ta'ala. When you do something sincerely for the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala, whatever you do, and that is how we as Muslims are supposed to be living our life, right? Everything you do is for the pleasure. Even when you eat, is for the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala, because I'm eating to get strength to do my ibadat, etc. So I'm earning, I'm going to madrasa, I am doing for my family, I'm doing for my wife, my children, I'm doing for my husband, I'm doing for my siblings. Why? For the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala. So, Salathun la yaghilu alayhinna qalbu muslimin. When a person does things sincerely for the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala, then no jealousy will remain in his heart for anybody. Then, one nasihatu lil muslimin. There's another hadith that said where we said Aadiel and nasiha. The deen, the religion of Islam is actually to wish well to everybody. He needs to wish well for everybody. So when you want nasihatu lil Muslimin, when you wish well for the believers, when you wish they must advance, they must progress, they must be safe, then also you will not have any hasad, right? وَلُزُومُ جَمَاعَتِهِمْ, when you hold firm, اتَّبِعْ سَوَادَ الْأَعْظَمِ, remain firm, مَنْ شَذَّ شُذَّ فِي النَّارِ, remain firm to the big group of Muslims, those that are upon the haqq, then la yaghillu, you won't have the sickness of jealousy, right? Then فَإِنَّ دَعْوَتَهُمْ تُحِيطُ مِنْ وَرَائِهِمْ, because their dua, it encompasses all that is around them, right? What does that mean here? It surrounds them. So in other words, when you are with them, when they make dua, when people make their dua for them, you will be included in it, right? This one. Right. So that was when we told you it means you not have hasad. Then I told you the other meaning was la yaghillu, means that three things are such, the ghalah means to fall short, means to deceive. So three things the heart of a Muslim should never deceive with regards to it. Now, three things you should never compromise on. Three things you should never fall short on. Always be particular about these three things. What is it? Ikhlas wal amarillah. Do your actions solely for the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala. Wa nasihatu lil Muslimin. Never fall short in wishing good for the believers. Always, and never fall short in luzud mujama'atihim. Never fall short in holding firm onto the Jamaat. فَإِنَّ دَعْوَتَهُمْ تُحِيطُ مِنْ وَرَائِهِمْ, because their prayers, it encompasses, right, whoever is beyond them, what is beyond them, others from all four sides. But at the end of the day, if you look at it, I tell you, غَلَّ يَغِلُّ or أَغَلَّ يُغِلُّ. غَلَّ يَغِلُّ, it means that you do not have a hasad. You do not, you not have, when you have these qualities, you don't have hasad for anybody, right? And the second one was this year, that you should not fall short of this. So basically, both, if you look at it, it comes to the same meaning. It comes to the same meaning, that when you have these qualities, you should be having these qualities. Because when you have these qualities, then any type of hasad or anything that you have in your heart, it will not remain. When you're truly doing things for the pleasure of Allah Ta'ala, you will not have hasad for people. When you really wish a deen wa nasiha lillahi wa li rasulihi, when you truly wish well for people, you do things, you wish for the betterment of people, you won't have hasad. And obviously, when you do this, then you're not going to fall short, you're not going to have deceit in it. So at the end of the day, although you say ghalla yaghillu or ghalla yughillu, it has different meanings, but at the end of that, it means the same thing, that when you should have these qualities, and when you have these qualities, it will engender and create within you, a good opinion and good wishes for the rest of the Muslim community. Right, read the next hadith. This is now عن ابن مسعود قال قال رسول الله انزل القرآن.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عن ابن مسعود رضي الله تعالى عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم انزل القرآن على 7 أحرف لكل آية منها ولكل حد مطلع رواه.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن ابن مسعود, narrating Harith ibn Mas'ud, he said, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أنزل القرآن على 7 أحرف. The Quran has been revealed on 7 huruf. أحرف is جمع حرف. لكل آية منها ظهر وبطن. For every ayat from amongst it is a ظهر, an external and an internal. وَلِكُلِّ حَدٍّ مُطَّلَعٌ. And for every had means boundary, there is a place to know it. رواه في شرح السنة, narrates this in Sharh al-Sunnah. So this is the famous hadith of Sab'at Ahruf. It is one of the exam questions that you normally get. And there are so many opinions with regards to what this means. Right? And yeah, I told you, if you look at here in this kitab that we got in front of us, the Shari has only given one explanation. But there are so many different explanations what does actually mean. Some kitabs have up to 40 different explanations what it means. And here also the Shari say that this is one of the most difficult hadith to explain. That ulama are not sure exactly what it means. But here he gave the preferred explanation. You see, every language in this world, every language, it has different styles. It's the same language, but the people pronounce words different ways. People pronounce words different ways. Like that also, this is now the most preferred explanation with regards to the Arabic language. There were 7 styles in which it was the words were pronounced. So here he's saying we got the Tawjih, Shah Waliullah Muhaddis Delwi. He says, look here, Ahruf, I told you, Ahruf is the jam of Harf. So here Ahruf means Lughat. It has been revealed in 7 different language styles. So the original style that the Quran was revealed in was the style of the Quraysh, their style of speaking. You know, like even here in peace, it's like now you get a person from PE, they'll say the same word, they'll pronounce the same way. Person from Joburg will pronounce the exact same word in a different way, right? Like maybe in P they say Fatima, in Joburg they say Fatima. Same word, but they're saying it different. Although we don't speak about what is the correct way to say it, but different people in P we say yard, the can say yard, right? So the same word, maybe Zimbabwe they say how they say in Zimbabwe, maybe they say different way in Salt Lake how they say. So they say in the time of Nabi Sallallahu, originally the Quran was revealed in the style of the Quraysh, and they were the most eloquent, fasih people. So at the time of Nabi Sallallahu, there were 7 major styles of Arabic. One was I told you the Quraysh, one was the Lughatu Banu Tay, then was Lughatu Banu Tamim, Lughatu Hawazin, then the Lughat Ahl Yaman, and the Lughat Saqif, and then there was Lughat Huzayl. So because each one was not clued up with the language of the next one or the speaking style, sometimes if you hear a person from Scotland speaking, I promise you, you won't understand what he's saying, even though he's speaking English. A person from Scotland speaking English, I promise you, you won't understand what he's saying. You won't understand what he's saying. So same thing. So because as we know, in the initial stage of Islam, there was always ease. Nabi saw some people were new in Islam. So Nabi Sallam created ease for the people. So Nabi Sallam made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that year. You know, my Sahaba Ikram, my followers are having difficulty in understanding because each one got his own style of speaking. So Allah Ta'ala, then according to some riwayat, they say, Unzil al-Quran. The Quran was actually revealed when Nabi Sallam heard it. You know, when Jibreel brought it, he mentioned all 7 styles, right? Now, okay, okay, we'll say so. So every so when we say here that it was revealed in the 7 styles here, I told you according to the way each one of these tribes would speak, and you could read the Quran. There was permission to read it in any one of these ways. Yeah. So another explanation is there weren't seven total different styles. That this whole style is different to that style. But there are seven areas that are affected. You understand what I'm saying? Like pronunciation, or like one's pronunciation will differ to the other one's pronunciation. One's in one lughat maybe you use jama, the other one you use mufrad, etc. So there are seven areas where it will differ. You understand what I'm saying? So if you look at the place where it will differ, there are seven areas where it will differ. One will differ to the other, right? Some ulama explain, like, in different languages, or like maybe not the same language, but in different areas, same word, you same thing, you'll use different words, for it. And he gives an example here. Okay, like, he's saying in the Pushtu language, you speak about the shawl, and he gives like different tribes, six different words for different tribes are using for the same word, right? Then some ulama say it refers to, you get the different qira'at. You get seven authentic qira'ats that got strong chain of narrators. Then you get the 10 qira'ats that got no song, not such a strong chain of narrators. Then you get the 17 qira'ats also. So it doesn't refer to the actual different qira'ats, but the usul that affects the different qira'at. You understand what I'm saying? So like, in one kira say walad dali, or say walad dali, whatever like that. So those seven things that affect this. So each one doesn't refer to a different kirat, but it's referring to those usul that affect the different kirat, right? Although here the Shareef say, he say no outright, it doesn't refer to the different kirat. He said it was this, he giving a preference to this opinion here, which I told you that it refers to the different styles of pronunciation from the different tribes. And in fact, there's an incident where there was one Sahabi, he was a Bedouin, he was having difficulty reading. Now, this verse, Ta'amul Athim, Ta'amul Athim, the food of the sinners. He couldn't pronounce his Athim, it was just too difficult for him. So, as Ibn Masud say this here, say Ta'amul Fajir. Fajir also means Athim. So, probably in a different kirat, this was a way of pronounce, also a correct way of saying it, you understood? So he said, Ta'amul Fajiri. So interesting here, now they're saying that, so in the time of Nabi Sallallahu, follow nicely, in the time of Nabi Sallallahu, initially the Quran was read according to the style of the Quraysh. Then Nabi Sallallahu made dua, Allah Ta'ala created ease. So in the time of Nabi Sallallahu, it was read in the seven styles. In the time of Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala, who also it was read. Then we know the famous story in the time of Abu Bakr, at the time of Umar radiallahu ta'ala. Then Umar also encouraged Hazrat Abu Bakr, look here, with so many Hufaz were martyred, remember that we need to gather the Quran, because the Quran was written, remember this nicely, you do that in the Ulumul Quran, you do that in Ulumul Quran in detail, but just to refresh your memory. The Quran we won't say it wasn't written in the time of Nabi Sallallahu. From the time of Nabi was written, Nabi Sallallahu have his scribes, say, read, put this in this surah, put this here, put this after this verse. So it was written, but different people had different verses of the Quran. It wasn't in one place, right? So, upon the insistence, initially as Abu Bakr was reluctant, but upon the insistence of as Umar in his time, when so many Hufaz were made martyrs, then as Umar insisted, encouraged and persuaded as Abu Bakr to make one copy, try to put all in one place there. That is why as Umar is also known as Jami'ul Quran. So I told you, rapid took place, expansion of Islam in the time of Uthman radiallahu ta'ala. And here is saying, so this different qiraat was still prevalent in the time of Abu Bakr, Umar, and in the time of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala. Okay, leave it there, thank you. Even in the time of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu, but because of the rapid expense, then now Islam started going to Africa and all those places. They were not aware of the different styles of reading the Quran, the different styles of reading the Quran, and they began arguing with each other. You know that the hadith we said, we done earlier. That one, this verse is wrong. You reading it wrong. I'm reading it wrong. This verse contradicts verse. So this is what started happening. Each one was telling the next person, hey, you're reading wrong. Maybe he was reading a different style. Maybe he heard in the Quran in one style and they were saying. So there was tanazu'. So yeah, and that interesting. The governor of Iraq, whose name was Huzaifa bin Yaman, he was a famous Sahabi of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And he wrote as Uthman or Amir al-Mu'mineen, we got a problem here, you have to make a plan. We at the Sahaba Ikram, we understand, that the Quran was revealed in Sabati Ahruf, and we know the Sabati Ahruf and all that type of thing. But these people now, they don't understand this. Like the Quran is the same Quran, no different meaning, same message, everything, but different ways of reciting it. Then, as Uthman radiallahu anhu standardized the Quran on the lughat of Quraysh. He standard on the lughat of Quraysh and was gathered on that. So remember, we're saying that the different qira'ats are something else. This is the different qira'ats are found within the lughat of the Quraysh. So the same Quran that you got here, that which we got today in the lughat of Quraysh, within that, it's further subdivided into 7 qira'ats. You know what I'm saying? So we will say now, so to say, that there's no traces of the other lughat. There's no traces of the other lughat. Only the one of the Quraysh that we got today. And there was ijma of the Sahaba Ikram, like how you have ijma on the 20 rakat of Tarawih, etc., etc. So the ijma, this is the qiraat we will have now. And this is why Uthman radiallahu ta'ala was also called Jami al-Quran. So you need to understand clearly, there was no change in the Quran. There was just permission to read it in the different styles. And this is why we are on this. I will also expand on this point. That remember, we believe that the Quran is unchanged, unadulterated. And we also believe, if anybody believes, we the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, is our belief. If anybody believes that the Quran is changed, or if any believe the Quran is incomplete, then that person is a kafir. Because Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, Inna nahnu nazzalna dhikra wa inna lahu lahafidhun. That we are the one who send out the reminder and we will protect it. So when Allah Ta'ala emphatically said He will protect the Quran through it being written and through it being memorized by the Hufaz, etc., etc. When Allah Ta'ala is taken, how can you say it is changed and adulterated? So that's why I told you yesterday, we speak about Colonel Gaddafi. He said you must say Allahu Ahad, you mustn't say Kul Wallahu Ahad. And I told you the scholar that's coming to our shows soon, he was saying, I can't remember, I must get a clip and I will show it you. He was saying that one of the verses is a Zabar, is there, page, whatever. And this is one of the main reasons, problems we also have with the Shia. Shias are different strains. But one of those Shia, like the Isna Sharia, they won't tell you openly. They won't tell you openly. The Shia that is now in control of Iran, they won't tell you openly. But they believe the Quran is incomplete. They believe that the Quran is incomplete. And they believe that when the Mahdi come, which is the 12th Imam, he will come with a complete Quran. So this is one of the reasons why we say that they are out of the fold of Islam. So anybody who has believe the Quran is incomplete, it's been changed. So what we say, according to, and I told you here with regards to the Sabbath, there are many explanations. He said 40 explanations, and he says this is the best explanation, and it seems to be a good explanation. I tell you some explanations says it refers to the different qira'ats. It refers to the usul within the qira'at. So it doesn't mean, because if you says each one referred to qira'at, we know there's more than 7 qira'ats. There's 10 qira'ats. You get ashara kabir, you get ashara saghir, you get ifna ashara, all the type of things. So those things that affects the qira'at. You understand what I'm saying? That's right. So remember that this hadith is not a license to say the Quran is what you call it adulterated or changed. Also, a lot of times this non-Muslims, they will tell you, when you talk to them, the Christians, even in our school, you tell them your Bible is changed, your Bible is adulterated. Then they tell you, yeah, but what about you? Remember in the time of Uthman, so many Qur'ans were burned but here you got your explanation. That it doesn't mean that there were a lot of false Qur'ans around and they need to choose, okay, there's so many Qur'an, I'm going to choose this Qur'an, this is the correct Qur'an, the other Qur'an are the false Qur'an. No. It was, if you understand this nicely, that there initially was permission to recite it in different styles, but then it was all abrogated to bring the Ummah onto one. So, as Uthman radiallahu ta'ala actually done us a very big favor. He done us that he, so to say, abrogated the other styles, and he kept the Ummah onto one style, right? Otherwise, in today, imagine what would have been happening today with people from all over the world accepting Islam, etc. You need to make dua for Uthman radiallahu ta'ala that he rendered this great service to the Ummah, that he brought them all onto one style or one harf of the Quran. Right. So as I said, you might get more detailed explanation, but this seems the best, the most plausible explanation. And this is a nice exam question also. This is a nice exam question also. I'm sure you'll see many times it's also coming on the Mishkaat exams, right? Then the next is لكل آية منها ظهر وبطن. So every ayat has an external meaning and an internal meaning. One is like the meaning that you understand, like the meaning that you understand. Like, there's a hadith that say, Al-malaikatu la yadkhulu baytan fi suratun aw kalbun. There's a malaika, although there's a hadith, it does not enter that house in which there is a dog and which there's pictures of animate pictures lying around. There's apparent meaning. But now an internal meaning, like I remember this also from Satyani Kitab, that like the Sufis, those ulama, that they busy themselves with cleansing the internal, the heart. That heart that got fault in it, like how the Malaika of Mercy not come into the house which has got a dog and a picture because there's a fault. If you've got fault in your heart, you got hatred, malice, jealousy, all that type of thing, greed, then the nur, the celestial of light of Allah does not enter such a heart. So like how you have to purge that heart, you have to clean that heart from, you have to clean that house from the dog, you have to clean the house from the picture for the mercy to come. You need to clean your heart from all these negative qualities, right? So that you say this is like an internal meaning and external meaning. So that's what I mean. بكل آية منها ظهر وبطن. So I was telling you what it means. Like this is one is the mutabadar meaning when you just read it, and then the meaning comes to your mind. That's why I told you. We are speaking about different type of tafsirs. There's a tafsir by Maulana Ashraf Ali Tanwi. It's called Bayanul Quran, and in that tafsir he extracts all the masail of suluk. He extracts all the masail of tasawwuf. He extracts all the masail of tazkiyah. And I was just speaking to incidentally one Maulana this Friday, Maulana. He attempted to translate this book, but he told me no, he stopped because it is being done by Darut Turath. So as I told you, the different tafsir, so this tafsir of Maulana Ashraf Ali Tanwi, it deals with all these internal masail. We say, لِكُلِّ آيَةٍ ظَهْرٌ وَبَطْنٌ, right? So like I was telling you also, what is ahkam al-zahiriyah? You got the laws like Shariat, that this is halal, this is haram, you must read namaz. But then you got all the ahkam that relates to your inside, that to have jealousy is impermissible, to have hatred, etc., etc. We speak about the ahkam and batiniyah, that the laws that relate to your inner. And I told you these are the tafsirs of tasawwuf that concentrate on that. Then the last part of the hadith. So ولكل حد مطلع. For every boundary, there is a place of knowing it. For every definition, there's a place to learn what it is all about. I tell you, had normally refer to like the end point of something, refer to taraf. And you look at the definition, a definition is the end of something, but something doesn't go beyond its definition. You understand what I'm saying? And muttala'un, a place of reaching, a place of learning. So what the verse? So if you link this verse, لِكُلِّ آيَةٍ مِنْهَا ظَهْرٌ وَبَطْنٌ. For every verse, there is a external meaning and an internal meaning, right? وَلِكُلِّ حَدٍّ مُطَّلَعٌ, and for every boundary, for every definition, there's a place of learning it. So if you link that to the previous verse, that if you want to learn these meanings of the Zahir and the Batin, then there is a muttala, a place where you can reach, and a place where you can learn it. You understood? So in order to learn what these verses mean, like we were speaking yesterday about tafsir bil rai, you can't sit, people do, they sit in a group and each one give its opinion. No. وَلِكُلِّ حَدٍّ مُطَّلَعٌ. There is a place of learning. There's a place of learning, the had, the definition, and that is, like we told you, you have to look at the prophetic explanation. You have to look at the explanation of the Sahaba Ikram. And if there's nothing there, then you have to follow the usul of fail, fa'il, maf'ul, jar, majroor. You have to follow what the meaning is. You cannot go out of that meanings, right? You have to know nasikh, mansukh, etc., etc. Okay, so that brings us to the end of that. So this is also this part, last part of the hadith here. وَلِكُلِّ حَدٍّ مُطَّلَعٌ. For every definition is a place of learning it. Shows you clear that not anybody can speak in the Quran what they want to speak. There is a place of learning. There's qualifications that you need before you can make pronouncements with regards to the Quran. Okay, read the next one.
كل ثلاثة آية محكمة سنة قائمة أو فريضة عادلة وذلك.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وعن عبد الله بن عمر قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: العلم ثلاثة: آية محكمة أو سنة قائمة أو فريضة عادلة وما كان سوى ذلك فهو فضل. رواه أبو داود وابن ماجة. Interesting hadith here. Narrating the authority of Abdullah ibn Umar. Remember, we speak about the jurors of the Sunnah, and from among the jurors, the fuqaha of the Sahaba Ikram was Abdullah ibn Umar. He said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, knowledge is of three types. Ayatun muhkamatun. Ayatun muhkama means, okay, we'll just give you the translation of it and we'll do the explanation. A firm, clear ayat. Aw sunnatun qaimatun, a standing, strong sunnat. أو فريضة عادلة. Okay, just take فريضة عادلة for this moment. We'll look at explanation now. And whatever is besides these three things, فهو فضل. It is extra. It is not necessary. رواه أبو داود وابن ماجه. Abu Dawud ibn Majah narrates this. So we said ayatun muhkamatun. This is similar to, we spoke about in the verse in the Quran. You get ayat muhkamat. You get clear verses that are clear in their meaning, and we are supposed to practice upon it. Remember? So it refers to those verses of the Quran which are lucid, which are clear, and it doesn't have the possibility of being nasakh. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ. Allah Ta'ala is one. That's clear. There's no doubt in it. Can it ever be abrogated that Allah Ta'ala is one? Tomorrow we say Allah Ta'ala is two. There's no doubt. Can anybody have doubt what his meaning is? Can anybody doubt what his meaning is? So now, we discussed this here. Whenever you get verses that are not clear, we said mutashabih verses, you're not clear what it means, then you view the mutashabih verses in light of the ayat muhkama. You understand it, right? So those verses that are not so clear in the Quran, you don't know what it means. You view it through the paradigm of the clear verses of the Quran. You view it through the paradigm of the clear verses of the Quran. So that is so muhkama refer to some of we say those verses where you have no doubt in it. Then the next one is Sunnatun qa'ima. That sunnah that we are supposed to practice upon it. That being the clear, lucid verses from Rasulullah. So this is also a proof against those people who say they only believe in the Quran. As a poet says, Al-ilmu ma qala Allah wa qala Rasulu bihi. Knowledge is that what Allah Ta'ala says and what His Rasul says. وَمَا ذَلِكَ وَمَا سِوَى ذَلِكَ وَسَاوِشُ الشَّيْطَانِ. Whatever is besides what Allah and His Rasul say, that is just a waswasa of shaitan. It's got no benefit for you in the akhirat unless it becomes hasan li ghayri, right? So there we done ayatul muhkama and sunnat qa'ima. The last one is faridatun adila. And this refers to that which is extracted from the Quran and Sunnah. Remember when Muaz radiallahu ta'ala was going to Yemen and he said, Bima taqdi ya Muaz, you done this. How will you make a decision? He says, Aqdi bil Quran wa Sunnah. I'm going to make my decisions based on the Quran and the Sunnah. He said, if you not find it, ajtahidu bi ra'yi, I will apply my mind. In other words, the same usul, the same qawaid that I learned from the Quran and the Sunnah, like the Quran and the Sunnah taught me that anything that intoxicates the mind is haram. So even as intoxication that never exists in the time of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, today we know from the usul that this also is haram. You understand what I'm saying? So this faridatun adilatun, it is making a subtle reference to ijma and qiyas. Faridatun adilatun. Mu'adila means musawiya. So that means faridatun adilatun, something which is similar to the farz. There's a literal translation. And what is similar to the farz besides the farz, the Quran and Sunnah? That is the ijma and the qiyas. So I told you, when you see in the Quran the reason why something is haram, or you see in the Sunnah the reason why something is haram, and you find the same, and we call this in fiqh terminology, we find the illat, the cause of something, the causative effect of something. When we find it in something else, then we apply the same ruling to that, right? So this hadith is quite clear in showing you that what are the proofs of Sharia. We done this in the beginning. It is the Quran, the clear verses. Then it is the Sunnah, the clear verses. And then that which is extrapolated, we call in Arabic istikhraj, which is mustakhraj from the Quran, which is mustanbat from the Quran. That is the third source. Okay, I see time is up there. We'll stop there, inshallah. We will continue. But that's tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last day before the holidays now. Okay, we'll switch over, inshallah. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We're starting a new verse today, inshallah. You can read it, inshallah. So just recap before the last one. Likulli ummatin ajal. Allah Ta'ala spoke about the crimes of these people, né? These people that they do not want to accept the message of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They want to do their own thing. They want to be naked. And then Allah Ta'ala said that, look here, for every nation, there is the appointed time So no matter what they do, they can reject the Prophet, but the time will come when they will also the period, the epoch of power will expire, and on a individual level, on a micro level, every person will also die. Man mata faqad qamat qiyamatuhu. So that is really cool. يوم تنأجل فإذا جاءهم لا يستأخرون ساعة ولا يستقدمون, right? And then we said, Ya Bani Adam, imma yatiyannakum rusulun yaqussun lakum ayati wa yaqussun. So then Allah Ta'ala, in this verse here, Allah Ta'ala is giving briefly, look at you have been sent to this dunya, right? Imma yatiyannakum rusulun minkum. If a prophet comes to you, yaqussuna alaykum ayati, he narrates to you his verses, then if you take it to heart, you are going to be the successful person. But وَالَّذِينَ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا, those people who deny our words, وَاسْتَكْبَرُوا عَنْهَا, they show pride, أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. They are the persons who will remain in the fire forever. So that is where we are now. From the beginning of Adam alayhi salam, you came to the dunya, and those people who rejected, and then Allah Ta'ala speaks about the end point. So now read the next verse, inshallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فمن افترى على الله بآيات.
So, okay. فمن right. Okay. So who is more oppressive? فمن أظلم. Right? Whatever Allah Ta'ala speaks, they will receive the share. أولئك ينالهم نصيبهم من الكتاب. Right? They shall receive the share from what is written until when our messengers come to them. Right? نصيب حتى إذا جاءتهم رسلنا, until when our messengers, and here Rasul refer to the angels of death. Right? Right? يتوفاهم, and he will come and take their lives. Right? Come to them to take this, so they shall say, where is that which you used to call besides? So then the angel will say now, you used to call on Lat, you used to call on Uzza, everything. Where are those things now? What will they answer? They are lost to us. They disappeared. وَشَهِدُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ, and they are lost to us, and they will testify against themselves that they were disbelievers, because now there's no way out for them, right? So yeah, Allah Ta'ala is now giving the end point. This verse is actually an extension of the previous verse. That those people who did not accept the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they did rejected. What will happen? أولئك ينالهم نصيبهم من الكتاب. When the share of the kitab comes to them, it comes to them. In other words, the end comes to them. حتى إذا جاءتهم رسلنا, and our messengers come to them, يتوفاهم, to take their souls. And the messenger will say, قالوا أينما كنتم تدعون من دون الله, where is that things you used to call besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You didn't accept Tawheed, you didn't accept me, Allah is your God, you never accept the messengers. Now where are those things? Because now the reality is gone in front of them. They will say, قالوا ضلوا عنا, it is disappeared from us, it is gone from us. وشهدوا, and they will witness upon themselves that they were kafir. Okay, read the Arabic there.
يقول تعالى من أظلم ممن افترى كذبا أو كذب بآياته فقد أظلم.
Guys, so like you say now, who can be more unjust in this? Who can be more naughty than this child? In other words, he's the naughtiest person you can get. There's nobody more naughty than him. Who can be the most oppressive? In other words, these people who deny the clear signs, they are the most oppressive people. As I say, La ahada azlam. There's nobody that's more oppressive to himself. There's nobody that's more oppressive to Allah Ta'ala than mimman iftara, mimman iftara kadhib, than that person who attributed lies to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ممن افترى الكذب ممن افترى الكذب Allah أو كذب بآياته, or he outrightly rejected the sign of Allah Ta'ala. He said that this is not true, that is not true, right? Carry on. Okay, just before you can see, أولئك ينالهم نصيب من الكتاب. So these people that were oppressive, right? These people they deny, they share from the kitab will reach them. They share from the kitab will نصيبهم من الكتاب. That is, whatever has been their lot, their destiny, it will definitely come to them. So نصيبهم is the fire, right? And whom there is a maf'ul. So carry on.
اختلف المفسرون في معناه وقال ابن عباس يناله ما كتب عليه.
Right. So Ibn Abbas says, so اختلف المفسرون في معناه. There's a range of opinions as to what this exactly means, right? فقال ابن Abbas says, ينالهم ما كتب عليهم. That evil which has been destined on account of the oppression, on account of their disobedience, on account of them denying the kitab of Allah Ta'ala, whatever Allah Ta'ala has decreed for them, hellfire, it will definitely come to them, right? ينالهم ما كتب لهم, right?
كتب لمن كذب على الله أن وجهه.
Yeah. And so what has been destined, what has been decreed for the person? وَكُتِبَ لِمَنْ كَذَبَ عَلَى اللَّهِ أَنَّ وَجْهَهُ مُسْوَدٌ. Those persons who deny the existence of Allah Ta'ala, those people who deny the oneness of Allah Ta'ala, right? Right? What has been, their faces will be blackened, their faces will be darkened, right? Carry on.
قال نصيبهم من الأعمال من عمل خيرا يجزى به ومن عمل شرا.
Yeah. So we're still explaining what does nasibu min al-kitab means. وعنه also on the authority of the Abbas, nasibuhum, they share from the actions. That was whatever actions they done. If it was good actions, then a good reward is going to come for them. If it was bad actions, a bad reward will come, right? Right. So man amila khairan juzia bihi. Whoever done good, he will be rewarded for it.
من عمل شرا يجزى به.
And whoever done evil, he will be rewarded for it, right?
وقال مجاهد ما وعدوا به من خير شر.
Yeah. Moosagie says Nasib al-Kitab means what they have been promised, right? From the good and the bad, right?
اختاره كثير محمد.
Right. So Ibn Jarir also chose this opinion, means Nasib al-Kitab means what they've been promised. If they were good, they will get good. If they were bad, they will get, that is what's going to get them, right?
ذلك ينال نصيب قال أمله ورزقه وعمله.
Right. So some ulama says, أولئك ينالهم نصيب الكتاب. These are the people that they share what has been decreed will get them. It means that every person in this dunya, whatever amal was written out for him, whatever risk was written out for him, whatever age was with him, that will get him, nothing else, right?
هذا القول قوي في المعنى والسياق يدل عليه.
Right, he's saying, وَهَذَا الْقَوْلُ قَوِيٌّ. If you look at this, we're saying, we're making it general, that everybody in this dunya, whether you are good or whether you are bad, or whether you are pious or whether you are impious, whatever has been decreed for you, you will get it. He said, this is وَهَذَا الْقَوْلُ قَوِيٌّ فِي الْمَعْنَى. This opinion is the strongest here. It is the best. وَالسِّيَاقُ يَدُلُّ عَلَيْهِ. And the context of the sentence points to it as well. Carry on.
حتى إذا جاءت يتوفونه.
Right. وَهُوَ قَوْلُهُ, and it is a statement. It's not there, it's not there. Right. وهو قوله, that is the statement, حتى إذا جاءتهم رسلنا يتوفونهم, that this is the same thing which is saying that when our messengers will come to them يتوفونهم, to take their souls, right?
ونذكر المعنى في
Yeah. So a similar meaning of this comes from the verse of Allah, of Allah Ta'ala, very similar meaning. Which is it? Read it. Right. إن الذين يفترون على الله الكذب لا يفلحون. Verily, those people who attribute to Allah Ta'ala lies, they will not be successful. So this verse has a very similar meaning to what was that those persons who attribute the lies, etc., their taqdeer will get them. Same thing is mentioned here, right? Yeah. Mata'un fi dunya. So these people who denied us, these people who never accept our message, they fabricated lies against us, etc. Mata'un fi dunya. They will have a little goods in this dunya, right? But at the end of the day, thumma ilayna marji'um, they will come back to us. So no matter what you do in this dunya, you will have a few days of enjoyment, but ultimately you have to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ultimately, you have to go and answer, ثم إلينا مرجم ثم نذيقهم العذاب الشديد بما كانوا يكفرون. Then we will make them taste the severe punishment بما كانوا يكفرون, because of that which they were denying. So if you look at these verses, the verses that is under discussion, the main verse, فَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنِ افْتَرَى عَلَى الْكَذِبَ, and the verses here that Ibn Kathir has brought, that is also giving the same message, that you can be in this world as much as you deny Allah Ta'ala, as much as the disobedience, but the time will come when you will have to leave that dunya. You will enjoy whatever it is. You got a few days, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, if you're lucky, even 90 years. But at the end of the day, the time will come where you will have to go to stand in front of Allah Ta'ala. ثُمَّ نُذِيقُهُمُ الْعَذَابَ الشَّدِيدَ. So no matter who you are, no matter how much wealth you got, no matter how you are enjoying, sometimes you see these people, they are engaging in the disobedience of Allah Ta'ala, but they got so much of the dunya in front of them, they're enjoying the dunya. Why are they not being punished? To not be لا يغرنك تقلبهم في البلاد, that their movements in the town should not deceive you. The time is coming. The time will come when they will stand in front of Allah Ta'ala. The time will come when they have to account. That we say, no matter what, no matter how much wealth they got, no matter how long they live, but they can't live forever. The time will come. So that is the common thread through all of these verses and all the verses that Ibn Kathir has quoted to substantiate. Mata'un fi dunya. Mata means something which is for a short time. Short time. Mata'un fi dunya. Short time. ثم إلينا مرجم. Then to us they will come. ثم نذيقهم العذاب الشديد. Then we will make them taste the severe punishment بما كانوا يكفرون, because of what they were denying. So, as I said, the same thread, don't become fooled by them that why they are enjoying, the Muslims are suffering, but the time will come, right? That's what we're saying. وَلِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ أَجَلٍ فَإِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهُمْ لَا يَسْتَأْخِرُونَ سَاعَةً وَلَا يَسْتَقْدِمُونَ. Carry on. Yes. So وَمَنْ كَفَرَ فَلَا يَحْزُنْكَ كُفْرُهُ. Telling Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those people who deny you, they don't, فَلَا يَحْزُنْكَ كُفْرُهُ. His kufr shouldn't grieve you, that this person is not accepting, he's rejecting. Look at him, how arrogant he is, how proud. Let not that bother you. Why? إِلَيْنَا مَرْجِعُهُمْ. He will have to come to us. He will have to stand in front of us. فَنُنَبِّئُهُم بِمَا عَمِلُوا. And we will inform them what they're doing. When we inform them, they will have to pay the price, right?
حتى إذا جاءهم رسلنا يتوفونهم وآية يخبر تعالى أن الملائكة إذا توفت.
Yeah, so this explains حتى إذا جاءتهم رسلنا, and until when our messengers will come to them and will extract their souls. In other words, they will enjoy now. They will deny now. They will say this is lies. They won't accept the truth. But until the time when the messengers come, what is Allah Ta'ala doing here?
أن الملائكة إذا تفزعهم عند الموت وقبل أرواحهم.
Yeah. يخبر تعالى أن الملائكة, Allah Ta'ala is informing that the angels إذا توفت المشركين, when they take إذا توفت المشركين, when they take the souls of the mushrikeen, right? تفزئهم عند الموت, they will plunge them into an anxious state, right? وقبض أرواحهم إلى النار, and they will take their souls to the fire of Jahannam. Carry on.
أين الذين كنتم تشركون في الحياة الدنيا وتدعونهم في دون الله ادعوهم يشركوا.
Yeah. So the angel will say to them, the angels will say to them that now you didn't want to worship us. You wanted to worship multiple gods. Where's all of this now? The things you refuse to accept Allah Ta'ala is one. You refuse to accept the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Now where's all of this? Is it going to help you now? Like how we say in the dunya, we give preference to everything of the dunya. We give preference to our luxuries. We give preference to our homes. We give preference to our cars. We give preference to our dress. All at the expenses of our akhirat. Now when you are being flung into the fire of Jannah, now where is that house? Where is that false stuff? For the mushrikeen, obviously, they literally worship false gods. So where is that God that you were saying that you are worshipping? For us, inshallah, we got iman, but we gave preference to things of the dunya. So you were worried about that house. You earned that house at the expense of your sharia. You wore that clothes at the expense of your sharia. You compromised your sharia. You ate that food at the expense of your sharia. That food was doubtful. You ate it. Or you drove that car on interest. It was an expense of sharia. Now where is that car? That beautiful car for which you compromised the laws of Islam? Where is that house? Or where is that clothing for which you compromised? Is it going to help you now? No. أين الذي كنتم تشركون به? Where is that things that you are ascribing or making shirk with it? في الحياة الدنيا, in the worldly life. وتدعونهم, and you are calling out to the false deities. They were calling false deities, Lat, Uzza, or you were calling my house, my car, my husband. وَتَعْبُدُونَهُ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ, and you were worshipping it besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ud'uhum, call them now. Call this father. Call your house now. See that house for which you gave everything. This car. Ud'uhum. يخلصونكم مما أنتم فيه. Will it help you? Will it extricate you? Will it remove you from that which you are in? Will it remove you? Will it assist you? Carry on. So they say, ظَلُّوا أَنَّا, it is disappeared from us. We gave our life for it. We gave our life. We sacrificed everything for the dunya. We sacrificed everything for these false deities. But ذَهَبُوا أَنَّا is gone. Right? فَلَا نَرْجُوا نَفْعَهُمْ وَلَا خَيْرَهُمْ. We did not anticipate any good from this, right? We don't, right? Any benefit or any good, right?
شهدوا على أنفسهم أي أقروا جرحوا على أنفسهم.
So now when the truth will be opening, it will be glaring in front of them. وشهدوا, they will witness. أقروا واعتزلوا على, that they were kafir, that there's no more excuses now. You can make excuses to a certain point, but when the truth is more than glaring, more than jarring, there's nothing. So here at the same time you say now, we gave preference to everything besides Allah Ta'ala, and unfortunately this will not help us now. All of this has been in vain. Okay, we'll stop there for tomorrow, last lesson tomorrow, inshallah, then we break for the holidays.